Now it is my honor to present the inaugural Alumni Service Award to an alum who has served San Francisco and the state of California with unflagging energy and commitment for 4 decades. Kind of like Congressman Miller. The Honorable Tom Ammiano has... Hey, wait a minute, I got 10 minutes here to do. Let me praise you here, Tom. Hang on a second. All right. The Honorable Tom Ammiano has served San Francisco as a teacher, civil rights leader, educator, supervisor, assembly member, fashion plate. Look at you. Look at you.
Giant's color.
Man, it's like Project Runway here. In 1975, Tom became the first public school teacher in San Francisco to make his sexual orientation public. Oh, I have... 2 years later, he co-founded the movement and worked closely with Supervisor Harvey Milk to successfully defeat the Briggs Initiative, started by Senator John Briggs, to ban gay people from teaching in California. Tom was elected to the San Francisco School Board in 1990 and to the Board of Supervisors in 1994, and served as president on both. 2-time mayoral candidate, he remained on the board until his election in 2008 as assembly member representing the 17th district. Throughout this time, Tom has been a leader on LGBT rights, healthcare, homelessness issues, and the rights of students, workers, women, and immigrants. A strong advocate over the years for San Francisco State and public higher education, he was inducted into the Alumni Hall of Fame in 2006. Don't make it about yourself, make it about what you believe in, Tom has said, describing his approach to politics and his advice to those entering it. Tom has consistently been committed to advancing social justice among the highest ideals of this university. For his tireless work during a long and distinguished career in public service, for his commitment to giving a voice to the disenfranchised and powerless, and for his authenticity and courage to stand for his convictions, it is my pleasure to present Tom Ammiano, M.A. in Special Education, the first Alumni Service Award recipient. Hey.
I love Ben, you know, for all his advocacy for radio. In fact, he told me one time I had a great face for radio, so thank you, Ben. Well, it is quite an honor. You know, I attended San Francisco State as a refugee from New Jersey. So you can imagine it did seem like another planet when I first started as a graduate student in special education. And every time I went to class, those blackbirds kept attacking my head. And I'm not going to say, I think state in those days, I think it was 63 or 64, it had a sedate veneer, but if you scratched that veneer, you could see what the future was going to bring. And it was going to bring a lot more diversity, ethnic diversity, class diversity. And of course, those years that Representative Miller was talking about. You know, I was served in Vietnam in a Quaker program during the war. And the reason I knew about that program was because one night, you know, like about 8 o'clock at night with that terrible fluorescent lighting they used to have in the education building, wasn't very flattering for a girl, you know what I'm saying. putting out the gaydar, hoping perhaps to have an encounter with someone. I saw a little bulletin, and it said, International Voluntary Services working in Vietnam and in Laos, looking for people, looking for teachers, looking for community organizers. And because of that entree, as functional as it was in a hallway in the education building with bad lighting, that really did change my life. And I did go to Vietnam, and I did teach school there for 2 years when all the bad and the good stuff was happening, and it was quite an epiphany for me. And I would teach kids, maybe 65 kids, English as a second language. And of course, they all learned it with a New Jersey accent. So this is a dog. This is a dog. But it was also a political awakening for me as well. And, when I came back to San Francisco and got involved in community politics, San Francisco State was always there. San Francisco State was kind of an anchor, and it's been a barometer for changing demographics and changing sense of values. And I respect it. I respect it for that very, very, very much. My daughter went to San Francisco State and got her teaching credential. My son-in-law is now a vice principal here in San Francisco because of his education here. So there's always a light to criticize because, that's us. We like dysfunction. We hate to admit to that. And through that dysfunction comes progress, and that's been terrifically gratifying to me. So tonight compensates for the loss of the Giants. But tomorrow there's redemption. Not only are we going to win the game, but on the Kiss Cam, I will be with Buster Posey. Think of that. So thank you very much.